All right, good afternoon, rap students. When we first started, we started off talking about COVID health and safety. We discussed procedures and measures on how to remain healthy and how to remain safe during the COVID 19. We talked about our mask, we talked about our disinfectants, we talked about social distancing, we talked about sanitizers, and we talked about the importance of hand washing. So today, our COVID health and safety topic will be about hand washing. We're going to talk about the importance of hand washing, the importance of washing them before, and the importance of washing them after, why we need to wash our hands, and also, most importantly, is how we wash our hands. So before I go any further, we're going to talk about before washing our hands. So we're going to wash our hands before eating. We're going to wash our hands before touching any open wounds, because sometimes, you can be outside playing and you can get a scrape or something. And, a lot of us kids, you like to touch, those open wounds because you're fascinated, but we don't want to touch those open wounds. We want to make sure we have our hands washed, but most importantly, you want to make sure that you're going to take that to your mom or dad so they can clean it up real nice for you. Also, a lot of our kids now have cell phones, so we want to make sure that before we pick up our cell phones, make sure our hands are clean. And you can even use a disinfectant wipe to also clean off your cell phone device. Toys is very important because a lot of kids like to put the toys in their mouths and so forth and so on, but we want to make sure that before touching those toys, make sure you wash your hands. Laptops and computers, other electronic devices, also glasses, and if you wear contact lenses, you want to make sure that your hands are clean because especially with contact lenses, because it keeps like the dirt and grime out of your glasses and your eyes, and then it make you feel like you got like dust in them. So make sure you keep those hands clean. Even if you do have to care for someone, some of us may not be old enough, but going to get a cup of water or some juice, you have to pick up get the cup. You still want to make sure that your hands are nice and clean. So now we're going to talk about after washing our hands. So after using the bathroom, that is very, 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 very important. After coming from the restroom, make sure you wash those hands real good. Touching any animals, sneezing, coughing, blowing your nose, that's another very important reason to wash your hands after. Handling garbage or pets or treats, which I already said after touching an animal, but when you give your animal a treat, you're still, touching the dog, and the dog might want to lick your hand or something. So if you're anything like me, I'm running to the bathroom. Give me some hand sanitizer, because Mrs. Waller does, no. So we done covered for the most part, our before and after of washing our hands. So now we're going to go into why we wash our hands. We wash our hands to keep away germs. We wash our hands to keep from spreading illness and sickness. So that's very important. That helps. I guess our hands is one of the main things that help keeps us safe, because we always have to touch something, picking up toys. And if you was outside, like I used to be outside, we was always into something, playing in the dirt, playing volleyball and soccer and baseball outside. So you have to touch those things that's already been outside in the ground. So you only know what's on that. So anyway, just keep that in mind. So now we're going to get to how to wash our hands. You may say, Mrs. Waller, is there a right way? And I am going to say, yes, there is a right way to wash your hands. Very important. So we only need a few things. And as you can see, I have some soap here, and it can be any soap. We have And over here, I had to kind of go back to, from what I know growing up, going to Mississippi with my mom, you know, from time to time, they didn't have like faucets and sinks in some of the houses. So they had what they would call basins. So this right here is just a regular bowl, but this bowl is going to be for my washing, and this bowl is going to be for me to rinse my hands, and then I have some paper towel. So another important thing is after you finish washing your hands, you can use another paper towel or the same paper towel that you had to dry your hands to open the door if you have to come out of the restroom, so that way you're not re-germing your hands. A lot of restaurants have like the little foot thing at the bottom of their door. That way you can just pull the door open with your foot. So I'm going to demonstrate the best that I can. Do not do this at home if you have a sink. Still always get your parents' permission. But this is just for sake of time and to do something different. Just say you get into that bind where you don't have a sink, but you have some water. Even if you have a water bottle, you know, you can wash your hands like that. But again, parents' permission. So right now, I'm going to demonstrate how to wash our hands. So the first thing we need to do, another thing that's very important, I don't have on any jewelry, so make sure your hands are free of any kind of jewelry. You can always take it off because we're going to have to get in the creases of these fingers, okay? So I also have on a watch. So I'm going to remove this watch. So now I'm going to remove my watch because I don't want any water getting in there because it's an electronic as well. And I'm going to take it off so that way water doesn't get up in there and mess it up, and then I have the wrong time or have to replace it. So, and I'm going to sit that to the side. But when the first instructions, this is this paper right here is 7 steps of hand washing. So the first thing, again, even if you have long sleeves, like as I do, make sure you roll them up far enough so water don't get up your arm and you don't wet your clothes. And if you're too young or too small, make sure you get mom or dad or older sister or brother to help you wash your hands, okay? All righty. Now here we go. Bear with Miss Waller, but we're going to do this the best that we can. So one of the first things that we have to do is wet our hands, okay? So I'm going to put my hands in here, and I'm going to get them all nice and wet. Okay, so I'm rinsing my hands. I'm putting my hands in, getting them all nice and wet. Then I'm going to get me some soap, and it could be any soap, and the water can be any temperature. The importance is how you wash your hands. So now I'm lathering. Make sure you get a real good lather. You rub your palms together like that. See, I got a good lather, but it could be better. But we're just going to work with this. You get the idea. It smells good, too. This is some Ajax, and it's antibacterial, but it doesn't have to be. So, and then we do that, and we rub them together, and we rub the back of our hands, get them real good, like that. Make sure the whole back is covered, just like we did with the front. Make sure it's covered real good. And another thing that it says that we can do is sing happy birthday. I'm going to get a little bit more soap because I think I done rubbed half of it off. But we're going to do that. Get that real good like that and interlock your fingers. And another good thing to have is a nail brush. Especially to get all that grime under your fingers like that. You got to make sure you get under those fingernails. Get all the dirt and grime from under your fingernails. So a good thing to have is a nail brush, which you can find at any store. You can go to Walmart or the Dollar Tree. You can go to Dollar General. You can go to Family Dollar. and get it. It's only $1. Only $1. But again, ask mom or dad, to make sure that that's okay. So, so we covered pretty much all of that, but we want to make sure that we got all the bases of our hand covered. See, as such. Okay, so now that we have done all of that, we're going to rinse our hands. It's time to rinse. All right, so this is my rinse basin, and I'm going to rinse my hands. Make sure we rinse them real good. I know some of you might like to play in the water, splash some water as I did, but be careful. Make sure you clean up any mess that you made. Okay? Make sure you clean up any mess, but we want to make sure that we get all the soap off so our hands are nice and squeaky clean. Okay? All right. So I think I'm pretty much good there. I think I'm pretty good. So, yeah. All right. My hands feel nice. Nice and clean. Yeah. With a little, I still got a little soap, so I'm going to rinse them some more, a little bit more. Because what you don't want to do is get soap after you don't wash your hands real good and got them germ free. Is do something and you still have soap on your hands. So that's that. We're going to kind of do that a little bit. And then we're going to get our paper towel. And we're going to dry our hands. Make sure we dry them real good. Real good. Like that. See, because I rolled up my sleeves, I have no water going up or coming down my arm. Make sure you clean up anywhere that you spilled water. Make sure you don't have water on the floor. Clean your sink, because we want to prevent someone slipping and falling. If you're in a public place, and you can also use a dryer. Let's say if you're in a public place, you can use the hand dryer that'll keep waste down, but still you can use some paper towel to open the door, or try to open the door with your elbow. So that way you don't get those nice clean hands germy again. So with that, also if you're out somewhere, another popular thing that we can use to keep our hands clean, if you don't have water, say hand sanitizer. And it only has to be 60% alcohol. So, but this one right here is, it says it kills 99.99%, but that 1% makes a big difference. So that we just make sure you can use hand sanitizer, which is also good if you're not anywhere where water is. I always carry hand sanitizer. I have it in my car. I have it in my purse. I have it on my keys. So I try to make sure that I stay safe. So I want you guys to make sure that you stay safe as well. If you have any other questions, if you feel like, okay, well, maybe it seemed like Mrs. Waller missed something, but you can always go to the cdc.gov website /coronavirus and look up different hand washing techniques to wash your hands, okay? For any more questions, you can go to the cdc.gov /coronavirus website for more information. Have a good day and stay safe.
Please be sure to like, subscribe and share this video. It helps us reach more people who could use our help.